Now, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are now going to read from Trip Across the Pond, my book, which the copyright claimant is the Thomas K DuGan Foundation Incorporated. All rights are protected. Please do not try to download this. You will not be successful. This is for your enjoyment that we are bringing to you at an absolute free cost. So let us start. Okay, with Trip Across the Pond, a personal Vietnam experience, author Thomas K DuGan, publisher Bentworth Press, and copyright claimant Thomas K DuGan Incorporated. We would like to say with this book that when we go in here, we would like to inform you that all photographs are by Robert Kelly Jr. except the following: Thomas and Jeep, Thomas and John, photographs by Thomas K DuGan. No part of this book may be reproduced in any form or by any electronic or mechanical means, including information storage and retrieval systems, without permission in writing from the publisher and/or TKDF, except by a reviewer who may quote brief passages in relation to a review. Let us get onward, and if you get a close, probably copy at the front of this book, designed by the author, Thomas K DuGan. Okay, we're excited here. We're going to go into one paragraph, or one chapter. Excuse me. Okay. First of all, we must do the prelude, though, of course. So the prelude is: I grew up playing cowboys and Indians and was given toy pistols to shoot my neighbor with and kill him, rightfully so. I always wanted to be the good guy. However, there soon came the problem differentiating who was the good person, who was the bad. Going to school, learning history, there were people that were supposed to be great, and I wanted to be, or model myself after them. When finished with school, I learned that some of those people were anything other than what I was led to believe they were. Of course, the other side of the coin, the distortion gave society the opportunity to guide me into being something that they thought was great, and the way to grow up, in a civilized manner. Although playing cowboys and Indians seemed okay, somehow the entertainment of war seemed scary, not only to Mother, it seemed scary to many mothers of our society. Going to the nearby drugstore, I would read comic books about war. Everything in those comic books seemed so heroic, strong, and I found myself wanting to be like those soldiers. The war stories in those comic books gave me the principles for manhood, what manhood was supposed to represent. My ego was constantly being built, and having no understanding of my ego, it would often run away with me. My ego did not serve me. Contrary, I served it. I was not given my toy weapons of war. However, instead, I was given toy war airplanes, toy battleships, and little toy soldiers. Commanding my toys of war, I could not only kill, I could destroy property. There were Western movies on TV filled with cowboys and Indians fighting each other. Then came movies of war. Mother never had much to say about wars, and Father did not say much. However, he liked to watch the war movies on TV. Neither Mother nor Father liked the thoughts of giving their offspring to war and the great probability that they would lose them in a bastard way. Growing on in life, I learned women everywhere, young and old, spoke out harshly against any type of war. They were asking if we as a civilization could not live without wars. Women spoke that we were more intelligent today. War was a clear example of man destroying, and so on. A moderate conflict of interest, money came along, and we had Desert Storm. Suddenly women had changed their philosophy. Now they want to fly airplanes, shoot weapons, and kill, destroy, like men does. After great painful research over a period of 45 chronological years, I have gained the understanding that wars are only an example of the human animal in his or her evolution of ignorance, a place that has a necessary attraction to hold them there. Man and woman, the human animal, would find it extremely improbable to survive without war. I was drafted into the service and volunteered for Vietnam for the reasons described in Trip Across the Pond. For what I got out of those experiences in Vietnam, I lost 7 times in my life and remain scarred forever. So what I have written is dedicated to my brothers who served and paid the price. 21 years passed, and there came the demand to write on what I consider the most bizarre involvement in our history. By taking some absurdities experienced by me from Vietnam, I have exposed them to the reader, in turn bringing about an increased consciousness throughout the world of the great futility of our involvement in Vietnam. Unlike Korea, Congress had declared Vietnam a Cold War in the year of 1967. I do not profess vulgarity in any sense of the word. It seems a lazy person's way of not having to define what they want to say, a way of not having to exercise one's brain. Also, it seems a measure of one's intelligence at the time of their expression. Because men, now women, without war would be like a person without a brain. A war without vulgarity would be like a soldier without any weapon of any kind. So I write. It seemed necessary to write about an individual that chose to play a major role in the Vietnam conflict from the seat part of the arena. No other person representing the United States in the Vietnam conflict played a greater role in demoralization of soldiers in Vietnam and indirectly caused some of their deaths. The crime of treason was truly committed and not questioned by those it should have, perhaps a crime in itself. A group of men that was 10%, all veterans and families of veterans, accepted an apology from the individual. That would make everything okay. I and thousands of veterans have not an idea whose idea it was, nor have we approved of a seemingly ignorant act. Frankly, it would give an outsider a dim view of our intelligence and a bright view of our ignorance simultaneously. No, it did not work, not even to the slightest degree. The immense pain, bitterness still lingers on, and as time marches on, the pain, bitterness amplifies a law of physics. I have no vengeance. I'm not attempting to destroy in the thought of good. Due to the great love and compassion that seems to lay burning in me, I would like to see if there is a way to ease the pain and bitterness, not only of the many veterans, their families, the families of the dead, also the person called Hanoi Jane. I have walked with my brother and sister in war and peace, and I would like to see us and the person called Hanoi Jane release ourselves of our tremendous pain and bitterness. I have a probable solution. The only question that would provide a block, could that sincerity be there in its raging truth? Folks, we have to end this now and continue with the next video with the first chapter. Thank you.